Hello again and welcome back to some climbing news. Lots of stuff to go through today. So as always, sit back, relax, maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Want to keep getting updates on the climbing world. But otherwise, start the show. And starting us off today, big news from last week that I was just not able to talk about until now because I suck. But dude, freaking Charles Albert has finally sent his mega proche, the so-called Charlatan, which is a pretty great name. Wonderful little pun. Makes me happy. Should make you happy too. It's the little things, you know? And look, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Charles. Most people kind of seem to focus on the fact that he climbs barefoot, that he lived in a cave for 5 years, that he's kind of like this sort of enigmatic dude. I don't know, on the surface he seems to take himself super seriously, but then again, when you really get a good look, he's pretty much just out there making fun of everything. Like this shot from his real rock, where he seems to be almost doing a Jesus thing, but I also think he knows he's doing a Jesus thing, and it's kind of satirical, because honestly doing a Jesus thing in your own real rock is so absolutely insanely ridiculous, you cannot take it seriously, even though a lot of people probably did. Or that one time where he told what's-his-face, Jonathan Sin, that he grades everything soft so that way people will try it. Or even freaking, calling his hardest send ever, at least back then, no capote only, which literally means no condoms only in French, and which references the fact that everyone else uses protection, but he doesn't. He's a funny guy. Hell, even his latest boulder is called Charlatan, named after himself, and the fact that a charlatan is literally a person who's out there acting like they know their shit, when in reality they don't. Climbing Jesus, or at least he was until he cut his hair. Again, dude's making fun of everything, which is kind of why I low-key not sure I believe he actually lived in a cave for 5 years. Like, there's a small, teeny little part of me thinks he may have spent a bunch of time in that cave and would, camp there occasionally or whatever, but then he just kind of acted all mysterious and dramatic about it to make fun of the whole real rock thing, just kind of exaggerated everything. It's like the most epic long-form troll of all time. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That's absolutely conjecture and total conspiracy theory, but come on, dude. What isn't conspiracy theory is that Charles finally sent Charlatan. Dude's been working that boulder for 8 years, gave it God knows how many sessions, especially because, well, he lived in a cave for 5 years, allegedly. And this thing, Charles, he hasn't really given a grade just yet, but if we're being real, this thing is probably at least 9A V17, maybe even harder, probably even harder, definitely up there. It's one of the hardest things to ever be climbed. Most likely, hardest boulder in the world at this moment, especially in Charles' style. It's epic, it's incredible, it's literally an undercling to an undercling, which is physically probably the hardest thing you could possibly do in terms of linking two climbing moves together, especially when the feet are as bad as they seem to be, and it will probably get downgraded. I've never been more sure of something in my entire life. Dude hasn't even proposed a grade, and I already know Nico Peloson is doing an Earth Kingdom. There are no 9As in Basingse. These are not the droids you are looking for. Just some other little reference to another bit of pop culture everyone loves. Look, I'm not trying to dunk on Charles like at all. I'm not saying his climbs are soft. I'm not saying he's not as strong as he thinks he is. I'm saying if everyone's out there using bananas for scale and he's rocking up with an energetic unicorn diagnosed with ADHD that won't hold still long enough so you can measure anything with its farts, it's gonna be hard to make comparisons. Did that make any sense? I don't know why I just said that like that. Look, Charles climbs barefoot. No one else climbs barefoot. On top of that, dude climbs weird. He's the most Adam Ondra-like climber in the world, other than Adam Ondra. You guys remember when Ondra did the whole thing where he mantled off his own heel? I'd put up a lot of money betting Charles is probably the only other professional climber on the planet capable of doing that. And he'd probably do it barefoot too. My point is, there are two scenarios that I personally think are the most likely here. One, someone repeats it in a completely different way. Their shoes help tremendously. New beta means easier boulder, means this thing gets downgraded. Or two, there is no possible way for anyone to do this with shoes on. It turns out it's actually impossible, and it never ever gets repeated until 10 years from now when some comp kid that's flashed 9A V17 hops on and paddle dinos to the lip. Because again, look, just look at those underclings, man. Look, seriously. Here's a picture of the first one. You'll notice there's not a lot of ink cut there. And that's the second one. It pretty much is the exact same story. Nothing there. It's no wonder Charles literally dislocated his shoulder trying this thing. Which, by the way, I don't know if all of you knew this. Charles basically did this thing months ago. He just wasn't able to top out because he literally popped the shoulder out of his socket before he could do like the super easy victory mantle. That's insane. That's how hard this thing is. It's literally one of the hardest things to ever be climbed. It's 2 freaking moves. This dude's on another level. He's so much on another level, he literally went on a trip to Switzerland and then went back home early because he thought that everything there was too easy and it just didn't motivate him. That's like it's Switzerland, man. That's where all the hardest climbs in the world are. But yeah, I don't know. Charles Albert is like, I think it's very, very easy to just forget about him whenever we do lists of like greatest climbers of all time, and I think that's honestly a travesty. Dude is legitimately one of the greatest climbers to ever live. He's one of the greatest current climbers in the world right now, and either way, I'm just gonna have to pass the question off to you guys. What do you think? How hard do you think this thing actually is? Should it be the world's second ever 9A+? Is it not? 9A+ being V18. Will history literally repeat itself? Because, this is basically a very similar potential situation and story to the whole no capo only debacle, right? Like, Nale sends Burden, proposes 9A V17, then Shocks proposes the second ever in the entire world, then it gets downgraded. Are we looking at that exact same thing happening again? It's just this time it's Elias Yagnema and Exodia and Charlatan, which means we're talking, 1 grade higher, 9A+ V18. I don't know. Would love to know your thoughts, man. And of course, massive congrats to Charles sending an 8-year project. It's absolutely goddamn incredible stuff. I'm so happy for him. So cool. Next, let's talk another wildly hard send, this time the 6th ascent of Burden of Dreams. First ever live ascent of a boulder that hard by the incredible Makoto Yamauchi. And well, there's a lot to talk about here, but first, the mantle, my dude, like, that was hard to watch. Not because he basically beach whaled the thing, but more so because, holy crap, I thought he was gonna fall off like 3 times. Good lord. I went back to his other lives and I generally was not able to find him actually trying it a single time, the top out I mean, and maybe he did and I just missed it, but honestly, there's kind of a lesson to be learned here for like everyone, myself included, which is, that a lot of us spend most of our time climbing in a gym, as much as, as we wish we could be like Charles Albert, living in a cave, allegedly, and climbing outside every day. Most of us can't just do that, and gyms don't generally top out. And if they do, they're usually like, hilariously easy, not a big deal at all types of top outs. Gyms don't even set mantles. I don't think I've ever seen a mantle in a gym, maybe once or twice. Which means, though, that if you're primarily a gym climber, which a lot of us are, you probably suck at them. I suck at them. Hell, even Yanya sucks at them. It's not our fault. It's fine for that to be a thing. It only becomes a problem when you kind of, like it seems is what happened to Makoto Yamauchi, forget to do your homework. And then nearly biffed the V2 top out of a V17 boulder. Replica doesn't come with a mantle, unfortunately. I mean, look, lucky for him, he didn't actually fall, but man, like that's happened to me a lot. Don't be like me. Do your homework, try the top out after your flash burn. I know it's annoying to down climb or to walk around the boulder, but just work the top out. So just do it. Also, more probable, what happened here is that the dude was just completely overwhelmed with God knows how many emotions and just completely forgot how to climb. That happens. It happens to me all the time, which kind of leads me to the far more important bit after I've kind of poked some lighthearted fun here, which is the actual reaction to having sent. Because I'm just gonna put it right here for you guys to watch because it's just awesome, man. Not even right here. I'm just gonna show you the whole thing. Yeah, man, you can tell how much it means to him to have done this thing, to have not fallen off the mantle. I'm, I'm joking. I'm joking. It honestly makes me so happy to see this stuff because, like, ultimately, like, you know, I think one of the more awesome parts of climbing is that we're all in the exact same boat, right? The only real difference between me, you, the pros, is the number in front of the boulder we're all working on. But we're all essentially doing the exact same thing. V17 to Makoto Yamauchi or to freaking Daniel Woods or whoever feels exactly the same as V10 feels like to your local gym's crusher, as V2 feels like to the dude in rentals that's only been doing this for a week. It's all the same shit. As a result, seeing him manage to do this after the insane amount of time, effort, and like, hell, I mean, even probably monetary stuff that he's devoted to like this entire endeavor is incredible. It's awesome. Just absolutely massive congratulations to Makoto Yamauchi. I sincerely hope he's celebrating this one like crazy because it's Burden of Dreams. It's the hardest boulder in the entire world, in theory. Also, I think like, you know, 2 trips to Finland in total and literally just 7 sessions on this thing means, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the fastest ascent that Burden has received so far. Although that kind of goes into a little bit of a gray, weirdish area because, you know, he worked on a replica a lot and for a while. So, yeah, I don't know what that means exactly. You should let me know in the comments what you think. And anyways, this would have tied Burden with Alphane for the most ticked 9A V17 in the world if it weren't for a certain someone that we gotta talk about next. So, Lee Sungsu just gave us the 3rd 9A/V17 Sen of the week. Quick work. Like, very surprisingly quick work of Alphane. Confirmed soft. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. Honestly, a lot of people say it is incredibly hard and probably one of the harder of the grade, which is surprising and kind of funny given how easy it looks on camera. But also, best climbers in the world are the ones climbing on it and on said camera, so like, you know, it makes sense that it would look easy. Anyways, Lee Sungsu, famous for dabbing on Burden of Dreams and then doing it again without the dab, a thing that earned my eternal respect, sent Alphane. That's goddamn it. That's all I have for you guys. It's a hard boulder. Dude wrote on his Instagram post that it was a mental battle, that friction changes every day on the boulder, but that it was worth it. So, like, yeah, everything everybody has always thought about bouldering in general. He tried Alphane a bunch last year, but left empty-handed. Just needed a quick little upgrade. You know, grind that EXP just a little bit on some boulders in the USA, which is exactly what he did. And then he sent. Fuck, I'm terrible at this journalism thing. I have not been able to get more info on this dude's send, unfortunately, such is life. I wish I had, but I didn't. He's part of the Mellow crew and more so part of Anti-Grav, so presumably we'll have some sort of big video documenting all of this coming out in the future, near or far, who knows. I will keep you guys updated on that, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Strong guy, climb hard boulder. Gar. God damn it. Huge congratulations to Lee Sungsu, just kind of low-key making his way up the ranks and into one of the world's best contenders. Second 9A, dude is strong. Can't wait to see what else he does. I'm sorry if I'm being mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to make fun of stuff because, like, I have nothing else to say, man. Apologies. Now we go down a grade from 9A V17 to 8C plus V16 and from South Korea to France. Jules Marchaland surprising himself with a send of Ephyra. Love when that happens. I've never had that happen. Oh, you know, let me go try this boulder that might just be at my limit. Oh, I did some of the moves, but can't make links. Oh, wait, I just hit the pinch on my last go of my 3rd session. Oh, what? No, I just blacked out and now I'm standing on top of the boulder. That seems to outline what Jules apparently experienced. This dude is ridiculously strong. Like, come on. He's recovering from a pulley injury and was looking for something that wouldn't hurt him, and he just did Ephyra. Why can't that happen to me, dude? I mean, like, not at that level, but like, you know, I don't think I've ever accidentally sent something at my limit. My God, can't speak. Have you? Like in this case, you, everyone in the audience, has that ever happened to you? It'd be awesome. I want to hear about it. Anyways, Ephyra is an awesome boulder. FA by Jimmy Webb. Same start as from Dirt Grows the Flowers 8CV15, but instead goes left. Or I guess to you guys left on some really, really bad holds. Maintains the same kind of theme, you might call it, from Dirt, in that the ending is pretty hard looking mantle. For Ephyra, it's like a spanned feet under the lip that you can't see super well, and undercling, shitty smears, like the kind of thing that makes your butt pucker up real good and tight. And Jules sent this boulder at night in bad conditions when everything was sandy, so like, Good lord, I'd have shat myself. Massive congratulations to Jules on the send. Well done, and surprisingly, his first of the grade. Thought he'd done more of them for some reason, but yeah, apparently not. Dude's flashed V15 before he sent V16. That's wild. Let's move on. 2. Yuta Imaizumi. I mentioned this guy last week for having an insanely good-looking Ticklist, and now I mention him again because he's gone and done another boulder. I mean, duh. Anyways, dude just managed a repeat of Off the Wagon Sit or Low, a boulder that's been pretty much completely ignored for over 2 years at this point. Last we saw this thing getting much attention, it was when Las Von Frere managed a repeat after a broken foothold, which, if I'm not mistaken, broke a second time when Jules Marchaland was working this thing last year. Or at least I think it was Jules. It might have been someone else. I may have imagined it. I'm not entirely sure, and I can't find it. So if someone in the comments with better memory than me could correct me, that'd be really appreciated. But anyways, yeah, really cool to hear about this boulder being done again. Like, it was all the rage a few years ago, then it just kind of faded out of fashion. I think, or I heard, that the person who owns the field that the boulder is on wasn't super duper happy about having a ton of people standing around there and even moving the wagon, so that may have contributed to the lack of attention, but yeah, I'm not really sure, I don't know. Yuta Imaizumi is on a freaking roll either way, insane run of form, awesome to see. Freaking Ticklist goes wagon sit or low, yeah, wagon low, story of two worlds, wagon stand, big paw, Finding Nemo, all in like 2 weeks. It's very, very, very impressive. Next, am I gonna have to start lightning rounding 8C plus V16? Crazy. I don't know, it doesn't matter. What does matter is Bill Hader has just managed to get, as far as I can tell, the 6th descent of deepfake 8C plus V16. How ironic that it literally looks like I just deep-faked Bill freaking Hader into a photo of a climber. That's not irony. But yeah, I either way, I didn't. That is Simon Boes, another Dutch climber who, I mean, the freaking resemblance is uncanny, man. Put him next to Will Boes, and we're only a couple more dudes away from the cast of Superbad. Please, please, dear Lord, tell me that someone actually knows that there's a climber somewhere out there that looks like Seth Rogen. Can we make that happen, please? Can we, somebody, like, can we find that guy and then just put the three of them together? I gotta talk about climbing now, unfortunately, but I'm passionate about this sport, okay, I promise. And this is Simon Boes' first ever 8C plus V16, which is a huge freaking accomplishment. Dude took around 9 to 10 sessions to get her done, and seems confident in his thoughts that this thing is soft, which is fair and totally normal. It's his first of the grade. Every single boulder that is your first of the grade is going to be a nice little softie. It's just a thing. I don't know why, but it is. It's also, it seems that this thing is a little morpho, so it's kind of seemingly easier if you're taller. At least Adamandro seems to believe that that's the case, and I'm honestly not super sure if Simon Boes is tall, but like, well, Bill Hader's 6'1" or $1.85, so I'm just gonna assume this dude is too. Yes, we often throw logic out the window on this show. If you're new here and don't like that, buckle up, man, because shit gets real weird over here. Anyways, congratulations to Simon Boes. Great last name too. Boes, Beer, Bill Hader, now an 8C plus, even though you're from the flattest freaking country on earth that literally has like 0 boulders in it. Just, I mean, that's just winning, dude. Also, yeah, that country is the Netherlands, which, by the way, Netherlands, nether literally means low, like mountains high, nether low. Their highest point is a literal hill. Like, there's so much climbing to be found over there. Anyways, next gotta talk about sport climbing, which, as you know, is my favorite. Jorge Rullo has just managed a flash of Novena Puerta, an 8C plus 514C route in Santa Lina. Huge, like, ultra classic in that cave, and a route that apparently Jorge had been saving for a flash for a real long time. Actually marks his second ever 8C plus flash, possibly or probably his hardest to date, maybe? Depends, I guess, on how he ranks his flash of Pelotari, which is his other 8C plus flash. But yeah, flash on a sport climb, not as hard as an on-site, but still incredibly impressive stuff, as it really is not something that's normal or usually done or achieved. Like, yeah, just put into consideration the fact that Stefano Ghisolfi has yet to flash a single one. And I'm really only bringing him up because I got to talk about him next. And as such, time to transition to the next story, where Stefano Ghisolfi is on an absolute tear, just bouldering away the days, and maybe now he actually believes in himself. I still think it's hilarious that this dude seems to always be surprised that he manages to climb the world's hardest boulders when he can and has climbed some of the world's hardest routes. Like, guys, let's be real, sport climbing sucks, in my opinion, but it's objectively harder to do than bouldering, at least at the top of the scale, right? Like I've heard a lot of people say that it's harder to climb 9A plus 515A than it is to boulder 8C. Maybe not Stefano, who seems to surprise himself every time, but like, yeah, that seems to be consensus. Like, let's not forget that Sean Bailey said that Grand Illusion was like a 9A plus / B, and Grand Illusion is an 8C plus / V16 boulder problem. Where was I going with this? I don't know. Anyways, 4 low. That's the boulder Stefano sent. It's a boulder in Bavona. Like I said, it's 8C, discovered by the one and only Giuliano Cameroni, and first ascended by old Necktat Woods. It's an absolute goddamn legend. Anyways, so yeah, quick little trip for Stefano. Doing 3 8Cs in 10 days is not half bad. Dude's now got 7 of those under his belt, which is pretty freaking rad. Anyways, next time to talk about another Frenchie, Oriane Bertone, still out there climbing in Font. Or at least she was last week, because I missed it, and I didn't publish that time. Anyways, I mean, why the hell wouldn't she be out there climbing? She just sent L'Ensoutenable Gerette de Lettres. You just gotta say it like that, right? Anyways, it's AP V13, amazing boulder, been sent by quite a few people lately, including Brooke Raba too. Anyways, she sent this thing and another line called Gecko, which is 8A plus V12, apparently in just half a day. Gecko being the stand start to Gecko Assis, which is really, really hard. And yeah, this doesn't really surprise me. She seemed surprised, but this doesn't surprise me, like, at all. She's super strong, probably could do harder stuff if she gave herself time to go out to Font more often, but alas, such is life in the big city. And World Cup season is starting, and obviously she wants to go hard, because, yeah, of course she does. Excited to see her compete against Yanya this year. We'll see if there's, like, some... what the hell did I just... what was that? Anyways, let's move on. God damn it. And we move on to an unsurprising quick hit, given how ridiculously strong the dude is, but Zach Galla sent Defying Gravity, which just adds to the number of dudes that seem to be like vultures circling the dying carcass of what could be, to some, the lowest hanging 9A V17 out there. No one mourns the wicked. In this case, the wicked being soft grades that will get downgraded and no one will be sad about. God, I hate myself. So many people are working. No one mourns the wicked. It's going to surpass Burden and Alphane as the most repeated 17 any minute now. Like, seriously, we're gonna get like 5 repeats inside of a week. Mark my words. Mark them. Mark them. I really hope Daniel Woods sends his betas incredible. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Good job, Zach. Next. Speaking of people doing a good job, Antoine Girard has just had a Font trip, or he did last week. Again, I missed a lot. And by just had a Font trip, I mean like dude just had a Font trip. Like, I gotta be honest, when the land of place so technical it shuts everyone down, gets tick-listed the way Antoine Girard just tick-listed it, you gotta take note. Like, this is not normal. So look, day 1, dude hops on 2 boulders, Keops Assis, which is 8B plus V14, and Belial Direct, which is 8C V15. Day 2, he gets on Hip Hop Assis, 8B, La Ligne Bête, 8B plus, Elephant 8B, and Realiste 8A plus. Day 3, he does both Lazarus and Le Paradoxe du Zenon, both of which are 8B. So just to reiterate here, 4 8Bs, 2 8B pluses, and 1 8C in 3 days. It's not half bad. Then you got me going to Font spending 4 hours on a 6A because I can't slab well. There's, levels to this game, man. That's all there is to it. But anyways, big congrats to Antoine Girard. It's awesome to see big tick lists like this, especially in Font, which continuously kicks my ass every time I go. It's fine. I'm fine. Next, gotta talk little ones, children. Jesus Christ, kids, younglings, as the Jedi would say. Freaking children. Gotta talk about children. Kwon Geon, at the age of 12, has just managed to send Puro Dreaming an 8C plus 9A 514C/D route, which, like, okay, look, I know the whole Team Kid sent my proj thing is absolutely a meme, but, like, when people say Team Kid sent my proj, the proj in question is usually like a V5 boulder problem, and on top of that, the odds are that, like, the setters maybe even set it in such a way that the Team Kids who train in that building probably would be able to do it. My point is that Puro Dreaming is not a soft V5 boulder in a gym. I'm sorry if I'm firing shots at a lot of you. But Dreaming is a freaking hard-ass route. It was done also by another quote-unquote team kid, Leothea, back in December, and it's the route that Yanya flashed. It's hard, really freaking hard, and she did it really, really, really quickly. Like just a couple of days, and only really took a little longer than usual because it was raining a bunch. It's insane, dude. Kids are going, like, they're gonna be wild. Someone's gonna flash 9C one day, and that person's probably like 3 years old right now. Anyways, the other kid we gotta talk about is, coincidentally, also Leothea, who just managed to send underground a 9A 514D route in Arco. This kid, this child, got out of his car, rocked up to this route, and sent it on his second go. Not his second go ever, but his second go since he tried this thing last time, which was back in February when he spent 5 days on it. But still, dude, what? You get your butt whooped on a route for 5 days in February, you go back home, you dedicate actual specific training for it, then you come back 2 months later and you send on your second go, and you're 12? Like, it's one thing to be, you know, self-motivated or whatever. It's a whole other thing to be 12 years old and doing, like, actual specific training for stuff. Seriously, what is going on? Congrats to the kiddos. I'm acting like I'm not psyched. I am psyched. I'm just confused, too. These two have an incredibly bright future ahead of them if the psych stays as high as it is now and they decide that they want to, you know, actually keep climbing and devoting their time to it, which I really hope they do, but I mean, you know, whatever, like, let them do whatever they want. It's fine if they decide to not. Like, my point is I'm super psyched, man. It's really rad. It's awesome to see them doing all this stuff, and let's move on. And finally, Ainhize Belar has just sent another 9A, this time Víctimas del Futuro. I mean, she's been kind of going on a tear of Shurana this past month, literally sending 3 routes at around the 9A 514D grade in very, very, very quick succession in this case. Víctimas del Futuro, La Reina Mora, and Estado Crítico. Some strong ass climbing right there. Lest we forget that there are currently only, I think, 14 or 15 women in total who have ever climbed just 1 grade higher than that. And that actually also includes Ainhize Belar. She's seemingly just absolutely leveled up. Definitely one to watch out for. Keep a weather eye out for her. And yeah, man. You know what? I want Ainhize. Good job. But hey, that was some climbing news. As always, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to throw in a like, comment with opinions, subscribe, and subscribe again so the little bell does the ringing thing and actually tells you when I upload, if you want, that is. And yeah, man, that's it. Are you still watching? Why are you still watching? Video's over. Go away. See you guys at the end of the week. Apologies for being such a mess lately. I'm trying to get my shit together over here. But in the meantime, of course, and as always, go climb some stuff.